When we walk into a Gothic cathedral, we are meant to look up at the light and the soaring vaulting. The architecture feels holy. But beneath the polished floorboards and behind the high stone walls, the building hides a shadow architecture. These cathedrals function like icebergs. The public nave is surrounded by a network of engineered voids, sealed chambers and hidden corridors built into the roof, tucked inside the pillars and buried under the ground. The descent begins at the highest point, in the massive attic network builders call the forest. To support roofs like Notre Dame's, thousands of oak trees were harvested to create a dark, complex timber maze that has remained untouched for centuries. These high attics reveal a hidden subculture of the men who built them. Researchers regularly find 15th century leather shoes, ceramic beer jugs, and forgotten hand tools left behind on beams marked with ancient pagan carvings. The cathedral was a dual-purpose machine. While the public gathered in the sanctuary below, a secretive, utilitarian world of laborers operated in these upper realms, separated by several feet of solid stone. Moving down from the roof, the focus shifts to the walls themselves. During times of religious conflict, these seemingly solid vertical blocks became a primary tool for concealment. During the 16th century Reformation, Catholic priests used priest holes to escape executioners. Master builders engineered these cramped gaps inside fireplaces and behind altars, where a man could sit in total darkness, breathing through narrow cracks in the mortar while guards searched the room right outside. Other hidden spaces were sought out by choice. Anchoresses participated in a ritual where they were declared dead to the world and led into a tiny cell attached to the church's exterior. Masons would literally brick them in, sealing the door forever to turn the cell into a living tomb. These walls functioned as a fortress for the hunted and a permanent enclosure for the zealot, changing how we define a sacred space. While the walls hid individuals, the ground directly beneath the floorboards often hides entire forgotten populations. Modern ground-penetrating radar has recently detected massive, sealed voids beneath cathedral floors that appear on no historical maps. These anomalies have no doors, no staircases, and no entry tunnels. They are perfect geometric rectangles of empty space, encased in solid earth and stone. At locations like Rosslyn Chapel, authorities refuse to drill into these mapped anomalies. There is a structural risk of collapse, but also a spiritual hesitation. The master masons engineered these spaces to be inaccessible, and we have largely respected that design. These voids represent the absolute limit of our curiosity. They prove that certain architectural spaces were built specifically to ensure their contents would never be found. The reason for building in these specific locations is often tied to the axis mundi, the belief that certain coordinates are naturally holy. Conquerors didn't choose new land, they seized the exact points where the locals already worshipped. The Roman pantheon was originally a temple for all the pagan gods. It survived the rise of Christianity only because the church repurposed the existing architecture and crowned the massive dome with a cross. To see the full scale of this descent, you have to go beneath the Basilica of San Clemente in Rome. Below the medieval surface church, a staircase leads down to a buried 4th century basilica that was simply used as a foundation. 60 feet below the modern street, we hit the bottom layer, a windowless cave used by a pagan cult that worshipped the god Mithras. Early Christians filled this Mithraic temple with rubble and built their foundation directly on top. By placing the Christian altar exactly above the pagan one, they claimed the land's spiritual gravity, while physically burying the rival religion. In the 16th century, Spanish conquistadors exported this strategy to the Americas, deploying architecture as a tool of empire. In Mexico, the Spanish built a Catholic church on the summit of the Great Pyramid of Cholula. The massive pyramid base was let to overgrow with grass, turning the native population's most sacred monument into a literal pedestal for the conqueror's faith. In Peru, the Spanish seized the Inca Temple of the Sun. They stripped the gold from the walls and forced a colonial convent directly onto the massive, dark Inca stonework. In 1950, a major earthquake hit Cusco. The tremors destroyed the Spanish colonial additions, but the underlying Inca foundations, engineered with massive interlocking blocks, did not move a single millimeter. While architecture was used as a weapon to erase conquered cultures, The earth protected the physical resilience of the older, massive stone foundations. There is a deep irony in this architectural warfare. By building over the old gods to crush them, the conquerors inadvertently turned them into load-bearing foundations, preserving them for thousands of years. We build voids inside our walls to hide the people we want to protect, and we build over foundations to claim the territory of those we've conquered. Religions and architectural styles are temporary, but the geographic coordinates of what humans consider sacred remain entirely static across millennia. Next time you enter a historic building, focus on the solid ground below. Recognize that the past is still breathing beneath your feet.